everyone, welcome to Artmeohio, where we have arts and crafts for anyone. Thank you for joining me this week. I have a really fun project to share with you guys. The first thing we're going to do today is make sure we are working on a table that's covered, and of course that we have something to cover ourselves so that way we don't get messy. Alright, so our supplies for this week, we are going to be making this really fun tinfoil kind of burnished leaf look. So the first supply that we are going to need a bunch of leaves. So you're going to go on your own scavenger hunt and you're going to see what leaves you find at home. You're going to want to make sure you use fresh leaves and not dried leaves for this project. The next supply we are going to need some cardboard, some tin foil, some black acrylic paint and a paintbrush, some glue stick. A glue stick will work, or you can maybe even use Elmer's glue, and then some paper towels and maybe some washcloths for our hands in case they get messy. Alright, I hope you have fun this week, and thank you for joining me with Army Party at Home.
Alright, so here we have some of our supplies. We need a piece of cardboard, a glue stick, and some of our leaves. So I grabbed leaves of random sizes. I have some big ones, but those ones are a little too big for my piece of cardboard. So I have two nice small leaves that I can kind of layer and put in different positions on my piece of cardboard. So I'm going to kind of move them around until I find the positions that I want them in. And alright, I think I like the look of this. So if we have our leaves, we have the side where we can feel the veins and the other side that's very smooth. So make sure you fill your leaves, and the side that you want up is the side with the veins on it. We're going to take our glue stick, open it up, and we are going to glue our leaves down to our piece of cardboard. So we're going to take our glue stick and just kind of rub our glue all around, roughly where our leaves are going to go. I'm going to take my leaves and I'm going to put them back in that position that I wanted them in. So I'm going to put them down and then I'm going to start rubbing them in so that they can be glued to our piece of cardboard. This way they won't move around at all. And if you need to, you can always go back in and add some more glue as you need it. You know, you kind of need all of those little edges of the leaf glued down, so you might need to go back and add a little bit more. Alright, and I think that's about it for mine. I'm going to continue with my glue stick, but I'm going to grab my piece of tinfoil and have that off to the side to be ready to go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue stick and I'm going to start gluing all over. I'm going to make sure I cover all of the corners, all of the edges, and I'm even going to go on top of my leaves a little bit. This will help me glue down the tin foil on top of our cardboard and our leaves and help keep it in place. I'm really making sure I have plenty of glue on it. Trying to put that cap on. Alright, so I'm going to take my tin foil. I'm going to put it on top. It doesn't matter if it's a little wrinkly. I'm going to put it on top roughly in the middle and I'm going to start rubbing out all of those edges. Alright, you might need to kind of pull on it a little bit and adjust your tin foil as you go. Alright, so I'm just going to take my fingertips and I'm going to start gently rubbing all over the tin foil on top of the leaves and all of the edges. Make sure you don't press too hard with your fingers so you don't create a hole. I figured that a piece of paper towel might work a little bit better. So I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm going to use that to really rub and get those creases really nice. As you can see, as I continue rubbing my leaves, I can see all of those veins from our leaf very well. Make sure you're being nice and gentle, but try to get all of the edges and really try to smooth it out as best as you can. Alright, so I'm going to put that off to the side. The next step is we're going to try to flip it over. Be as gentle as you can. Ready? 3, 2, 1, flip! Awesome. So I'm going to take my handy dandy glue stick again, and I'm going to start gluing all over the back side of my cardboard. We're going to really make sure we have plenty of glue on it because we're going to fold over some of our edges to our tin foil. Alright, so we're going to start folding over our edges. I'm going to start with one side and then just completely fold it over. Make sure you really kind of rub it down as you go. This way it will glue down, and also you'll get those really nice crisp edges that we're looking for. So I'm going to carefully follow all of the edges, start folding those over just as I need to, and make sure I'm rubbing them down very well. And you might need to add a little bit more glue to make sure that every piece will be nice and secure. Alright, just a couple of final touches. Gonna flip it over, gonna go over all my edges, make sure those are nice and smooth. Alright, and there we go. And that's our leaves kind of pressed on in the tinfoil. You can leave this project like this, or you can continue and find out what we're going to do next. Alright, so now we need some black paint. It can be acrylic paint. That's what I'll be using. We need a paintbrush. I recommend a little bit bigger one. And then we also need a piece of paper because we don't want to get our table too messy. I'm going to put my project right on top, take my black paint, and I'm just going to simply pour some of my paint right on top. I know this might seem kind of scary, but I promise we're going to have some really fun results with this. I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to start spreading it all over. And then I realize that's not quite enough paint to put a nice layer over the whole thing, so I'm just going to take some more paint and add it as I see fit. Ideally, we want to have the whole thing covered, and we want it not too thin, but also not too thick. Alright, it will look too thin if it's super streaky, but it'll be really thick if you can see puddles of paint. So we want to find that nice balance in the middle of not too thick, but not too thin. Alright, and I think that's about what I want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and move my supplies off to the side. And for right now, we're going to wait some time, and we need this to dry. Alright, I am back, and now my piece is completely dry. I can touch it all over and see it's not on my fingers. What I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to take my fingertips and I'm going to gently rub over my project. I'm going to especially kind of rub over the leaf area because that will kind of start rubbing off some of the paint. What we want to see is we want to kind of make a distressed look. And I'm going to take my handy dandy paper towel and I'm going to use that to really help me speed along this process. You're going to be kind of gentle, start over where your leaves are at, and we're going to kind of rub back and forth. And as you see, as we start rubbing over our leaves, those veins will start to show through very nicely. We'll have this really fun contrast between the shiny tinfoil and our matte black paint. I'm going to rub all over our whole project. You can decide how much you want to rub off and how much you want to keep. Because maybe you want to only rub off some paint off the leaves and you want to keep the background completely black. It's up to you. I decided to really rub and kind of distress my whole project. And I wanted to make sure I can really see all the details in my leaf as well. Alright, and I think that's going to be good for this one. There we go. We can see what it looks like when it's finished. Good job, everyone.
Oh my goodness, this looks amazing, everyone. I hope you had fun creating your art project. Thank you so much for joining me with Art Me Party at Home. Remember, remember, you can come almost every Wednesday around noon for a new fun art project that you can do at home with your family and friends. Thank you so much for joining me, and remember, just like your art project, stay perfectly imperfect and artistically fabulous. Bye, everyone!